wait, what's that sound? Please do not hit the snooze button. You actually do not need that extra minute of sleep because we are here already.
Wake up if you're still in bed. The city has already awoken. You do not want to be left behind.
Yes. What you do need this morning is, well, hey, just us to set the tone right for the rest of your day here for a Tuesday.
Just make sure you make hay while the sun shines. You know,
Yes,
I
you
didn't
should.
understand that saying. My mom used to say it all the time.
Yes, it's hay. It's farming. It's make hay and the sun dries hay.
Do everything you can while you have. So you do everything in the lifetime of the opportunity. Yeah, that's how they say it.
Yeah, but
So
literally, you make hay
while
the sun shines.
So that it can dry.
Exactly. Isn't that right, Mary? Am I wrong? I don't. Mary, am I correct?
I've been stuck in that point. You said hit the snooze button. It is better to hit the snooze button so you can wake up in time than to go and stop the alarm and go back to sleep. That's the worst. I don't know. I've just been stuck in that particular stuff you said, man. But, you know.
Good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. And good morning to all of you out there. Welcome to another fresh out of the oven Tuesday edition of your favorite breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mazino Appeal.
My name is Titi Lyle Oyinson. He said it's fresh like agege bread or like refreshing snow. You know that fresh snow. Okay, well, we're in Nigeria, so it doesn't work, right?
Okay.
But it is a refreshing show, by the way.
Fresh Hamatan breeze.
You can watch this very refreshing show every single morning through the work week, and you can do that on your mobile. We have a mobile app available for Google Play and, of course, iOS. And you can use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms.
Yes, indeed. Quick question now. Have you followed us yet? If you haven't, then you're doing the wrong thing. It's simple at TVC Connect on Facebook and also on Instagram.
Yes,
we want to do that so we can, you know, be like, so.
Connect with us.
Yes. Now, what are we going to start with?
We have health on Tuesdays, and today we're going to be talking about diabetic foot care. Why it's important and how to look after your feet. You know, there are a lot of people living with diabetes these days, sadly. We have Dr. Damien Avar, aka Sabi Doctor, a practicing medical doctor with expertise in sexual health, and he's also an award-winning health educator. We're going to be talking to him later on. Up next, we'll be having our parenting segment. Now we have Uchuko Prudence Daniels. Now she is a dynamic entrepreneur and professionally early childhood practitioner. We're going to be discussing demystifying this thing called homework. Prudence is a promoter of the Parents Prerogative platform. You want to stay tuned to hear more from her.
And so much has happened in the world of entertainment, and today we're going to be looking at the latest happenings in that sphere, of course, with a special guest much later on the show.
And then, of course, you wonder why you have siblings that know you too well, because that's what that stuff was about.
Oh, okay.
Sure. That's Venita and Neil.
Venita and Neil, yeah.
You know they're siblings, brother, sister.
For
Brother,
real?
Sister, cousins.
I think you said cousins.
Well, we're not cousins. It's not the same thing.
No.
Well,
No,
family
family's
from us.
family, yeah.
Good to see you guys here.
Good to see you
Good to see you, Mary. It's been a while since I've been on with you.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. Like
Wow.
a couple of weeks now.
I have missed you.
so
Thank you
it's
for
like a
offering me a
reunion.
seat this morning.
If you guys had seen what Mazino did earlier,
You offered a seat.
the camera will not cut to that. So it's when Mary is trying to get back that
come
he
off
makes
it.
you look like the bad
Come
person.
on, it's come on, it's come on. We've missed you. I've missed you. I've missed being on the show with you.
I missed you too.
Nice.
Okay, can we move on to Let's Do Tuesday now?
Okay, let's do Tuesday.
No,
What are we talking about?
you
What
in-
do you do before Friday?
So when I say Let's Do Tuesday, Mazino has this thing he does on our group, and he says, let's do Tuesday or let's do Monday, and it just makes it so exciting. So
Try
go
to
ahead.
wake you guys up every single day, you know, get you
Yeah.
guys going. Now, we were talking about snooze buttons, and there's a trick that I learned, and I'm hoping that people could adopt. First things first, you know when you have to always hit the snooze button just to get that extra 15 minutes of sleep?
15 minutes. My
Yeah.
snooze is 5 minutes. Always
No,
has been.
mine is 15 minutes, so I wake up at 3 a.m., 3:30, then finally at 4 a.m. If I don't do that, then I never get out of bed. But 3:30, and 4. 4 a.m. is
Okay,
the...
so I'll be calling
you
you at 3 a.m. now.
So this is because I have to boot. But if I set just one alarm, I might probably never wake
So
up.
what's your core? Core i5, i7?
What's that?
Since you need
Sorry,
to boot
the joke-
computer.
The joke was right there.
Yeah, my Pentium is loading very slow. In any case, this is the trick. If you are a heavy sleeper, you want to set your alarm and place it across the room. Never leave your phone where you can hit a snooze button, because if you do, that's it. You're not going to wake up for the next 1 hour. But if it's across the room, you're going to be forced to get up and move, and that activity is going to wake you up.
Okay. Well, across the room is a bit far, though, because if it's across the room, you might not hear it. It might not hit home.
You see,
It might seem
that's
distant.
alarm. Do you know what alarm is? Alarm is... If it does not wake you up, then you can't be helped. You see that snooze button? If you doze off, at least, 5-15 minutes time, you're going to wake up again because of the snooze. But you now leave the snooze button. You say you stopped your alarm. Bro, see you in the morning.
Mike, what are you? Android?
No, so that snooze, yeah. So I put like 3 snoozes, and then if I want to wake up 3:30, then I set the alarm for maybe 3 o'clock, and then have like 4 or 5 snoozes.
Yeah.
So I take the time to boot and continue snoozing, but I want to wake up 3:30. So I set the alarm 3 and then have like 5 snoozes.
If you
5 snoozes.
So that's also you are taking the time. You're taking the time to boot.
So each time it's like you're climbing out of a dream state. You're like getting.
See how
reawakened.
guys can talk about
As in
this
they can
and
talk
just
about
feel cool.
sleep.
Like they can just
When you
sleep.
have to prep the family for the
force-
day.
You snooze earlier.
Pack school bag, pack book wear.
What time do you want to wake up? I'm saying anytime you want to wake up, 20 minutes before that time you start to
Let them
snooze.
enjoy
Especially when the weather is now very funny, very cool.
Oh,
Now
stop.
still
What
have
are you
to
thinking
get up.
about? Oh, God. Let's move on, please. Welcome. For Tuesday, let's do the news. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, we begin the news at this morning in Kaduna State, where 2 abducted students from the Bethel Baptist College who were fortunate enough to escape from the hands of their abductors have narrated their ordeal. Now, the students who spoke exclusively to TVC News say they were made to handle boxes of bullets as they journeyed to an unknown destination between Kaduna and Abuja Forest. They also claimed that there was a written warning by the bandits informing them of the impending attack to the school, which was treated with levity when it was reported to the school patron. According to them, the bandits were battle-ready as they were seen dressed in military uniforms but had slippers on their feet instead of boots.
Then they now give us bullets to be holding for them in our head. We're now holding the bullet, this is magazine bullet, is already loaded. Then they now said that we should hold the bullet for them till we reach the place that we're going to. Then I told them that me, I'm tired, I want to ease myself. Then they now said that, okay, I should give another person. The person I gave the bullet to hold, now they now said that we should wait, we should rest for 1 minute. And now said that we should pull or piece, anything that we want to do. They just give us 1 minute. Then the person I gave the bullet to hold, he now kept the bullet. He now told the Boko Haram that he's coming, that he wants to go and ease himself. Then he now ran into the bush.
Meanwhile, the Kaduna State government has ordered the immediate closure of 13 schools located in areas that have been identified as vulnerable to attacks by bandits. This follows Monday's bandits' attack on Bethel Baptist School in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, where an unspecified number of students were kidnapped. The directive, which was issued by the Director General of Quality Assurance Authority in the State Ministry of Education, Umma Ahmed, to proprietors of private schools, said the closure is with immediate effect. And outside Nigeria, several hundred firefighters working in sweltering vegetation heat made progress against one major Northern California wildfire, while another continued to threaten homes and campgrounds and to close busy Interstate 5 during the 4th of July weekend. The salt and lava fires were both burning in rugged rural terrain in the Shasta Trinity National Forest in the upper reaches of Northern California. There are among 16 active wildfires burning in the state during an early start to the fire season. Most of California saw far less rainfall than usual over the winter, causing vegetation to dry out faster than usual and increasing fire dangers. Most of the state is in extreme or exceptional drought conditions, according to the National Drought Monitor. Now, as of Saturday afternoon, the blaze had destroyed 27 homes and 14 other structures. The U.S. Forest Service estimated that 450 people remained evacuated. It had burned 7,467 acres and was 5% contained by Saturday evening. And that's it for the news.
Time for us to check out the newspaper headlines. And this morning, we will begin with the Guardian newspaper. Now, the Guardian newspaper has this to say: Southern governors want power shifts, reject 30% share for frontier basins. Looking closely at that, we have ordered member states to promulgate anti-open grazing law by September 1. Security agencies must inform governors before any operation in states. Ohaneze Ndigbo demands presidency for Sadist. Afenifere, DAWN Commission, others hail resolutions. Down here we see stop pursuing Igboho, apologize to him, Soyinka tells federal government. There will be uproar if truth about Nnamdi Kanu's arrest comes out. Down here we also see Pandef 6 reversal of PIB insists on 10% for host communities. Those are the headlines we're going to check out on the Guardian newspaper this morning. Now, from the Guardian newspaper, we're going to move to the Nation newspaper, all right? Now, the Nation newspaper has this: Southern governors call for power shift to South. That's what the major headline there is. And it goes on to say, reject removal of electronic transfer of results from Electoral Act Amendments Bill. Other resolutions include, well, there are quite a number of other resolutions, but you could see down here, no going back on state police. Still on the front page of the Nation newspaper, Baptist school pupils abducted. That's another major one. Here we see vaccine-derived polio outbreak in Lagos. FCT, Rivers, others. Now, those are the headlines on the Nation newspaper this morning. That will be all we'll be able to take this morning for the newspaper headlines.
All right. Now, that was an interesting session.
That was actually also a mischievous one. So many things happening
I would
here.
think that Mike would be distracted, but no, you're the one who's distracted, Mary.
About what?
Should I tell?
No,
You better.
please don't.
So,
And be ready to defend it.
we have quite a very, very interesting discussion here.
Okay.
Mel Gibson, I saw the story a few days back, and a very super...
You sounded like Mel just now. It did sound like Mel, honestly it did.
I actually heard Mel.
Yeah.
That's what you heard. Check your ear.
I had Mel.
Please, 3 of them off their mic.
We are going to replace
So,
it.
Mel Gibson.
Media influence.
So yeah, because you know it, you know Mel Gibson and it's a popular name, so that's why you heard Mel. 3 of you.
It is
People
better we even
need to watch more home videos.
Tell the story.
So Mel Gibson is very short, an influencer who lied about having cancer of the brain, and she was touted natural solutions. I eat this, I eat that, and then it was found out that she was lying because a donation from somewhere. She lied about the donation. They were like, okay, you lied about the donation. You're probably lying about this, and they found out that she was lying. That's just it. Very simple.
It was online for quite a bit. People were talking about it, but the issue is how influencers have become so important. Now, before recent times, it was the actors, the singers that were always on TV in the public eye that had such an influence over people. But now, seemingly random people just create content, go online and get so many followers and then become influencers. Who is influencing you and how are they influencing you? That's a question for me. So I'm very careful with what I put out there these days because you just never know who's learning from it, who's listening to it and all. But from the content she was putting out, it seemed like good content, just healthy eating. This is what I'm eating.
Well, it was good, but it was selfish, you see. I mean, it was all to an aim. She wanted to get people, get money, get sympathy and all of that. And she was gathering she was amassing a lot of wealth from donations. And that's, what's that thing, how they call it in law? Deception or something like that?
Yeah, it was even worse than just being selfish. She was being deceptive. You understand? So somebody will now go, it's the same thing that people do. You go and you have your body done. And then you now go to the gym and say, oh, you do 100 squats a day. Meanwhile, you are in one backyard in Brazil.
Let me give you a local
You went to do...
We have these personalities or celebrities who come off of reality shows, and we always hear that, hey, my fans bought me this, my fans bought me that. It is being suggested, it is being suggested that these items that are being bought for them by fans are actually not being bought by the fans. That
Okay,
they're
so-
acquired personally, and then it's put out there to seem like I have a healthy big fan base, so it will grow that fan base even more. If your fans like you enough to buy you a car, then it must mean that there's something to follow you. So that's the influence that social media gives very ordinary people, or people who, you know, aren't supposed to get that kind of attention. How you use it, however.
All of you that ADB just give shout out to put so tear Akara nylon from car. When you see a new car, you know how the nylon is. You can't see this nylon that they used to sell like, I need to buy a car this morning. You see that nylon? You know that the nylon even is behind the gate. And $100 gate.
Look at these.
So you know the nylon, you know it's the Akara type of that. So you just do like this. When you want to tear rubber, it's hard. When you say you're like this, it has gone off.
Because they are so
You ever did it like this? You ever like, you see that easy? You see range that you will fight to tear that nylon. So we tear range.
Who are you referencing?
You know now.
Can I give a disclaimer here? The views expressed by Mike Mexican.
What's your own? I don't understand.
Wake Up Nigeria.
Titi,
Or Titi Larry.
Titi,
So,
I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Masino.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying this? Because whenever you, for some people that I know, they're just trying to create a grand, you know, opening or entrance for something.
But once
trying to make it grand.
that initial.
What's your own with the
So
You know something?
engine.
You know something?
saying-
It's a two-way street.
You have the engine.
Then, on the one hand, yes, there are people who are faking it to make it. You understand? On the other hand, there are people who genuinely have people who
We
love
know
them.
now. We know. They put
Sure
out
you
genuine
get.
people.
They
So
still
it's-
put out material that are false.
Yeah.
Material that are
See,
made to deceive you.
Many
Television,
celebrities
so that
actually
is-
do a lot
that is
of
wrong.
make-believe.
Of course.
And that's why I keep telling people, what you see,
Don't believe
it's not
everything
always
is
what you get. Don't believe the
see
hype.
it. You see, there's something there. Look, we
Really,
are.
it's
almost
television
like
for a reason. Tell live vision.
You can't
Tell
okay.
live vision.
Yes,
That's what
keep
people have
telling the
done.
lies.
People have been doing it for years. People have been doing it for
So you know the
decades.
ladies are much more. They are
seriously.
much more susceptible to the live vision.
Which
Me,
live
for me and Mazino, are we lying here?
No.
We're telling the truth.
Should I tell you
Listen to
a
us.
truth about Mike?
Now listen.
As soon as this show ends,
Yeah.
if you catch Mike, you will look for him.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I would
Do you
say.
know do you really know the true height of your
I understand.
celebrities? Do you know how
So,
tall
my point
Beyonce
here-
is for real? Do you
Wait.
know how tiny she is?
My point
All
is-
these
my point
actors
is that
and everything. If
most
you
of
see
the time,
Kim, for instance,
they will
she's so
find you out.
tiny.
As the same way Bill Gibson has been found out,
Yeah.
she you know,
Most of the money she gathered have been taken
has to
back.
pay
they've been
back.
taken
Yeah.
back. She
Yeah.
has to pay back.
Yeah.
My point is, if you're going to base it on falsehood, it might go for very long. But when you fall, it's going to be. I mean, would it be worth it? Because most of the time, you always would fall.
Yeah.
People will find out one way or the other. Yes, you find a way, and you see where wellness is a very, very lucrative industry online.
it is.
Wellness, wealth.
Yes.
Wellness and wealth.
Yes.
How to make money and how to be fit. You know, those are.
Let me just add, fans need to stop putting so much pressure on their faves.
Exactly.
That's usually what affects them. So not so many people have very high self-esteem. And so when you keep putting pressure, they feel the need to live up to it.
In any case, what do you think?
This blue
Do
shirt
let us know.
rhyme, oh.
Share
Mazino.
with
Very
us
fine
on
now.
Instagram.
No, this is fine.
Hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC. We'll be there to read your comments. Welcome back, people. And here on Wake Up Nigeria today, we have Ochuko Prudence Daniels. She's a dynamic entrepreneur and professional early childhood practitioner. She's joined us today to discuss demystifying the thing called homework. Prudence is the promoter of the Parents Prerogative platform. She is also a member of the organizing team for Montessori Everywhere Global Movement. So it is grand to have you on here today. Welcome once again.
pleasure.
Always a pleasure to have you here. I love talking about kids with you. So what is there to demystify about homework? First off, let's define what homework is. What is homework?
Okay, so homework is work, schoolwork, academic work that children do outside of the classroom.
Okay.
Really, the original purpose of homework was when plainly a teacher back in those days had his children go back home to practice their speech and music. But you know, today homework has become like a huge idol on the side of the teachers, on the side of the parents. A lot of parents believe is by homework they can tell how much work teachers are doing. Well, teachers also, in my opinion, push their responsibilities into some of this homework in quotes. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of homework, even though I'm an educator and a school owner. Yeah, but the truth is, there's not enough evidence to show that homework is really necessary.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a paradigm shift. Well, really, honestly, I do understand what you're saying, because I feel, especially when you talk about responsibility being shifted, I feel that the amount of assignments, homework, my daughter always argues that it's homework, not assignments. The amount of homework being given to kids, my daughter, for instance, are a bit way too much. It takes out of my time as a parent for other duties. While I enjoy sharing that time with my daughter, it keeps me wondering, hey, aren't they giving me the work that they're supposed to be doing? In the old days, I hated homework. However, my daughter loves homework, so that's an advantage.
Okay, so there are several ways you can look at that. Like I said, there's not enough evidence to prove that homework is really affecting real learning, the actual learning that happens. Not unless it is given ahead, and then the child goes home to explore, look up what they're interested in or a topic that is being treated at school, and then they come back with the teacher, dialoguing, exploring, digging deeper. Then it becomes fun and joy. Homework, the way it is today, takes away the joy of work. Because, for example, in Montessori, we promote the joy of learning, the joy of work. And the learning, in quotes, is not defined. The learning happens spontaneously, and that's the best form of learning. The child is having fun, engaging, and then the child is learning. The learning just happens simultaneously.
So how would you suggest that teachers adopt this form of children exploring outside of the classroom when they get home?
Yeah, they should spend time in nature. Okay, so for teachers, if they're sending work home, it should be fun, something that a child is interested in and wants to do much more. So they can encourage the child to go home and explore more. They can have family time, asking questions about a particular topic. They can also get involved, like if there are practical things. Because in my opinion, I think children in our generation should really spend more time in nature. They should have more family time, which they don't get because everybody's busy and working hard, making the money to pay. Like you said, you have to do your child's homework. Guess what? Today, people don't even do that anymore. They pay these same teachers to come home and do the homework for the kids.
So are you saying that a kid who goes home to solve sums and read more books is would have less of an would be lesser than a kid who explores or has fun after school?
The child who goes home, compulsorily.
Yes, regimented. Yeah,
Yes.
that regimented.
Compulsorily knows I have to do homework. Research has found that over 70% of children do not like homework, which is very true.
Except my daughter.
Yes. Yeah, but if the homework is channeled into interest, it sparks up the child's learning capabilities on the inside. The truth is, the defenses for homework are that it builds up better work habits. No, better work habits are built by helping your child to be focused, to stay focused. And what brings about focus? If a child is interested in something and you give all the resources that the child needs to explore in that particular interest, the child will stay focused for hours.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the mental impact of struggling through homework has on a child. Because like you have noted, studies have shown that most children do not like homework. Does this have an adverse effect on the way they view education generally?
Definitely. Even you as a human being, when you go to work from 8 to 9, for example, or 8 to 5, for example, you get home and you want to do more work. Mentally, you are drained. Yeah, so school work is work. And parents should begin to shift to understanding that when they send their children to school, they should equate it to themselves going to the office or their business places to work. So after 5-6 hours at work, you don't want to come home and sit and be doing
more work.
So that's what homework really is in today's
how then
world.
can parents keep track of the activities from school and know that their kids are learning?
So this is what we do. In Montessori, we have the communication sessions, the parents' communications, the open houses, events that involve family members, guardians and parents to come see what their children are doing in school. Also, we have the virtual ones. We have communications, emails, relating with parents. And if they have questions, definitely. The schools always have channels where, you know, parents are involved. In Montessori, what we practice is a partnership. We're not just a school and the parents are on their own. It's in tandem with whatever we're doing. The parents are drawn in. We're partners in whatever we do.
That's very interesting and very, very outside the ordinary, what you have just discussed with us here today. Thank you very much, Prudence. It was a pleasure to have you here. If you're out there and you've just learned something, please note, hey, don't stress the kids. They need a time to work. They also need a time to play. I'm correct, yes?
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So hoping you've taken something. Thank you very much, Prudence, for coming. We'll look forward to seeing you here again next time. And let's discuss something as fun as we have just discussed.
My pleasure.
Let's find out what's happening inside of the kitchen. Auntie Mirim is in there. I wonder what's happening. Mary, what's happening here?
Yeah, that's the right one, Mazino. All right, welcome to the kitchen this morning. And we are going to be making something really interesting for breakfast. In fact, everybody's mouth is watering already. Today we have Chef Nelly. Yeah, it's his first time, and we are looking forward to what he has in store for us today. So, Chef Nelly, what is for breakfast?
What we have this morning, we have gum grilled beef.
Gum grilled beef. Now, before everybody goes, what's he talking about? Let's talk about the ingredients and how we're going to put this together.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start. Let's begin from that.
Okay, this is dal.
Dal.
Yeah.
Okay, what is dal?
Dal is an Indian stock.
Okay.
So we call it dal. It's just like a beans, just like the way we have Nigerian beans. So this is dal. This is
Indian
beans.
Okay.
Yeah, we call it Indian beans.
Okay. How did you achieve that?
Yeah, it's made from India. Yes,
Okay.
It's imported. So we parboil it.
Okay.
It's just like a beans you boil it very well.
Okay.
So after boiling, you allow it to get to a level of mash.
Okay.
So before you can get it.
Okay, so this is, I'm going to ask you something later.
Okay.
What is this?
This is block butter.
Okay, this?
And this is cooking cream.
Cooking cream. Okay,
Yes.
we have salt as
We
well.
have salt and we have,
Seasoning cubes.
yes.
What is this?
This is a green
Peas.
beans.
Okay.
Yes. And this is the gum grill.
Gum grill.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is gum grill?
Gum grill is fillet steak
Okay.
and fillet chicken, which is chicken breast.
Okay.
You understand? Gum together
Okay.
with stuff inside. That is mushroom, onions, parsley, so everything together.
Do you make this yourself? Or
I
it's
made it
bought?
myself.
Okay, so
I
you
made
make it
myself,
yourself.
yes. It's a special dish made by me.
Okay.
Special dish.
Okay.
If you type on it, you can get this.
Okay.
It's just a fresh recipe.
So this is your idea.
Yeah, this is my idea.
Gang, gang. We have something really original going on in the studio this morning. Okay, so this is a cucumber.
This is cucumber, this
Okay.
is marrow.
Okay.
And this is Irish potato.
And carrots, of course. Okay.
Yes, yes.
So what is this?
This is leek.
Okay, I know it's leek, but
Yeah.
it looks so much like a wedu. Anyway, don't go replacing it with a wedu, else you have something drawing in your food. Okay, so we are going to get started with the cooking process. I'm going to have him teach us the process before we actually start, so that if you miss anything, it's easy for you to catch up wherever you we come back on there. So what's the first thing we're going to do?
What we are going to do now, we are going to make the dal potato.
Okay.
Then the first thing to do now is
The dal potato simply means beans and potato,
Beans and
but
potato.
because of it's being
Indian.
called dal.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes,
dal
the
potato.
dal
Okay.
potato. So the potato now, we're going to dice it
Okay.
and boil it.
Okay.
Then after cooking it, then we'll now move it from the fire.
Okay.
Then after that, we will now stir fry it.
Okay.
So after that stir frying, we now add the dal
Okay.
together and
Okay.
put some seasoning to give it a better taste.
Okay.
That's all. Then you grill. We will now grill the
Okay,
gum
so
grill.
this is going to be grilled.
Yeah, this is going to be grilled.
Pan grilled.
Pan grilled, yes.
Uh-huh.
So after that grilling, we'll now make supreme sauce
Okay.
made by the
cream.
Yeah, the cream
And
the
the butter.
black butter.
Okay.
And the
Peas.
yes.
Okay. So are we going to cut this up before cooking, or
No, no,
it's
no.
going to be like that?
Straight like that.
Straight like
Yeah,
that.
After cooking, we'll now cut.
Okay. Okay. You make it sound so easy. What is this for plating?
Yes, this is
The
for plating,
league.
yes.
Okay. So, you know, chefs make it sound very easy. However, I'm just wondering, for some of us, the thought of going to get dal especially with you know, how everybody's being economical now. Is it possible for you to replace it with something local and it will still work, or it won't work with local beans in any way?
It can work with local beans.
Really?
Yes, it can.
Ah.
But it's going to be the white beans.
The white beans.
The white
okay, so
beans.
you make use of the white beans if you want to achieve this.
White.
Okay, so you boil the white beans
boil
as
the white
well.
beans.
You
And
mash it.
You allow it to mash itself.
Okay.
Overcooked.
Okay.
Yeah, after that.
Then you drain the water.
Yes, exactly.
Aha, because I noticed this doesn't look so mashed until you touch it and then you realize that it's really mashed. So it still seems a bit lumpy.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go on with cutting our potatoes. So Chef Nelly is still in charge. And for breakfast today, what did you say breakfast is again?
Grigom.
Grigom, yes. And we actually got that from the food, like the meat we're making use of, which is a mixture of beef, chicken, mushrooms,
onions,
and parsley. So there is like a stuffed meat.
Exactly.
But somehow we still call it
Grigom.
beef.
Grigom beef.
Beef,
yes.
Even though it's not just beef. Okay, there's also chicken and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me show you what is happening to that fillet right now, which is his special creation, something really original by the chef himself. Okay, so this is it.
Yeah.
Oh, so we can clearly define the chicken and the beef now.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you can make out which one is the chicken, which one is the beef, unlike when they were all raw, okay? Yes. So that is it. Now, what did you put in it?
Yeah,
I know you put in butter.
Yeah, I put in butter.
Okay.
Yeah, just butter to grill the beef
with.
Yeah, that's it.
And then did you season the beef?
Yeah, I seasoned the beef.
What did you season it with?
I use a mangi cube.
Okay, so you put a bit of seasoning cubes on it?
Yes.
Okay, so because, you know, we already put fresh vegetables, we put in... Okay,
so you need to turn it over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cooked through because, you know, we are Africans. We don't do all this rare, medium rare, something rare.
Yeah.
We do cooked.
The thing is that it has to be turned over time by time so that it
But
be
it
done.
eventually seeps through, so it cooks thoroughly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you are making it for white man, only this one is fine by them.
Okay.
It's fine by them.
Okay. So you know how when you go to a restaurant, you want to explore.
Okay.
That's how years ago, I was told, do you like rare? I thought it was some kind of rare meat until blood was all over my plate. Since then, I never tried anything rare anymore. Okay, so we're going to have the potatoes washed, and then we'll boil them because we have pots of water there ready for us to steam our potatoes. So we'll continue with the process as we already explained it earlier, okay? So if you missed it earlier, you want to go check out Facebook or our YouTube channel much later when we upload the entire show to catch up on what you may have missed. And this is something you should try at home, believe me. It looks really fantastic, really interesting as well. So this is the key ingredient today. Yeah, besides the beef, that is. Now, this is the dal. Yes. Taking a look at this, it does seem like, okay, what is it? If first glance, you think it's chicken, but it's not chicken, it's beans. And Chef Nelly says, if you cannot afford or you don't know where to get the Indian beans to achieve this, you could always use the regular white beans. You know, we have our beans locally, the white one. This is the dal here. We have our beans local. So you can boil the white beans and then let it get really soft, drain the water, and you will achieve the same effect as the dal, okay? Dal simply means Indian beans. Don't let them deceive you in a restaurant. All right then. Okay, so we're going to go on with our cooking. And at the end of the show, we hope to have the meal ready for our guests and, of course, ourselves. We'll take this break, getting into the next hour, 45 minutes more to go. Make sure you stay with us.
Now, they say good things come in pairs. That's why we have a second hour, and it comes to you with a different double dose of energy.
Oui. Bienvenue à la deuxième heure, la Wake Up Nigeria.
Yeah.
Mary just collapsed. I don't wait, what Mary?
So,
No, but you didn't do badly. I just didn't see it coming, that's why.
I mean, it's Mazzino.
So, Mary, if you'd like to translate what he just said.
Please help
He
Mary.
was just saying, welcome to the second hour, then he mixed up the whole part of Wake Up Nigeria. But he did well, he did well.
Give me some credit. In any case, yes, we just wrapped up a fantastic 1 hour, and I must say a warm welcome to the rest of you guys who just joined us for the second hour. You missed a lot, but not to worry, we still have a lot packed into the next 45 minutes.
The show is Wake Up Nigeria. You need to endeavor to stay right there with us through the next 45 minutes because there's quite a lot we have in store. Remember, you can use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC across all social media platforms.
Yes, you can also use the hashtag like we asked from before, Wake Up Nigeria on TVC, if you want to catch our attention on any of your discussions through social media. We also want you to watch us live from absolutely anywhere you might be around the world. Download our mobile app on iOS and Google Play Store.
Have you followed us yet? Hello, what are you waiting for? At TVC Connect for Facebook and Instagram. There's quite a lot of information you need to get from those pages.
All right, still to come.
It's interesting that Mary should say the word Sabi. We have the one and only Sabi doctor joining us today. His name is Dr. Damien Ava. Now, he's a practicing medical practitioner with expertise in sexual health. And we're talking about how to care for diabetic foot today. A lot of people living with diabetes, friends, family. If you know someone, tell them to tune in. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I said I was going to tell you guys what's happening today.
Yes, what is it?
Because I'm wondering if Titi and Mike can show us a demonstration.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
But today is fried chicken day.
Okay, that's racist, but that's okay.
That's what?
Racist.
What is racist about fried chicken?
Why do you have to talk about fried chicken when it's a black show? Come on.
Today is also International Kissing Day.
Go, Mike. Go, Titi.
You introduced it. You
No.
and Azino
I
have a
already
thing
told
going
you
on.
that you and Mike have to do the blowing.
You guys can demonstrate
Three of you
that.
have a problem.
Yes.
Oh yeah, Kinjukini, Mike.
Really, the three of you are now married.
Now you get.
And then three of you are now married. You're not passing. You want Masino to do Titi and then Titi.
Wow.
Look at you married. All of you, your spouses today. We flog all of you, Koboko. Three of you.
Don't worry, she's already been flogged.
Wow.
Today's also what?
What? World Kissing Day.
It's time to go on a break. It's okay.
You will pay for this.
Is it weather or fact?
What else? What else is happening?
Weather or fact?
In
These
fact,
people are
I
too
don't
much.
even know. Today, okay, so other things happening today. Virtually Hug the Virtual Assistant Day, Umbrella Cover Day, Take Your Webmaster to Lunch Day, which you're paying them so much already, taking them to lunch again.
That virtual assistant one freaks me out, though. All those apps on phones that when you just speak into the phone, it just responds.
Yes.
I'm wondering, are they actually listening to everything you're saying
Let me say
throughout the
something
day?
about that and segue into this. Security, your phones, VPN. Everybody's clamoring for the use of VPN now because of the Twitter ban and all of that. And everybody's like asking, which VPN do you use? Are you paying for VPN and all of this?
Yeah.
But over the weekend, Russian hackers actually took over, like multinationals, they hacked into their systems and took out data, and they're asking for $70 million before they can return this data. Now, it just had me thinking, if these guys can hack into multinational companies and all, how safe are you as an individual who's opening your entire details on your phone to the use of VPN, most of them free? Once you do that, once you use an app on your phone, every detail you've put, a password, a this or that, is open to whoever's running this VPN.
Most of them are actually paid for.
Most.
They're free ones, though.
Yeah, they are
Those
free ones,
free
but
ones,
most times it's trial period.
Originally, the primary aim of a VPN is security.
Is security, yes, because it's virtual private network.
It's security.
Yes.
So
It's to ensure
having
you're
you
not
ensure it's
snowed.
actually security based. It's just the same way like you have, let's say for instance, Kaspersky or McAfee on your system or Norton, and then you see, which is actually the fact that all your data can be available to be accessed by these particular companies.
Yes,
Free
which can still be
VPNs.
hacked.
Which can, you see,
Yes,
Takes you
because
that
we
take
know
care not
how
to use
this antiviruses work.
see, if they mean you,
You
they
know-
will get you.
you know
So
exactly.
that's just the thing. Forget
Just
this one.
make sure you keep your head
These are
down.
all the facts we have for you
They
today.
mean you.
Welcome, and after a heated debate on security, we move now into the news. Now we begin the news in Kaduna, where two abducted students from the Bethel Baptist College, who were fortunate to escape from the hands of their abductors, have regained freedom and narrated their ordeal. Now the students who spoke exclusively to TVC News say they were made to handle boxes of bullets as they journeyed to an unknown destination between Kaduna and Abuja Forest. They also claimed that there was a written warning from the bandits to the school informing them of the impending attack, but that the school actually treated this with levity. Now, according to them, the bandits were battle-ready as they were seen dressed in military uniforms and had slippers, however, on their feet.
Then they now give us bullets to be holding for them in our head. We're now holding the bullet, this is magazine bullet, is already loaded. Then they now say that we should hold the bullet for them till we reach the place that we're going to. Then I told them that me, I'm tired, I want to use myself. Then they now said that, okay, I should give another person. The person I gave the bullet to hold, now they now said that we should wait, we should rest for 1 minute. And now said that we should pull or piece, anything that we want to do. They just give us 1 minute. And the person I give.
Meanwhile, the Kaduna State government has ordered the immediate closure of 13 schools located in areas that have been identified as vulnerable to attacks by bandits. This followed Monday's bandits' attack on Bethel Baptist School in Chikun local government area of Kaduna State, where an unspecified number of students were kidnapped. The directive, which was issued by the Director General of Quality Assurance Authority and the State Minister of Education, Umma Ahmed, to proprietors of private schools, said the closure is with immediate effect. And several hundred firefighters working in sweltering heat conditions amid bone-dry vegetations made progress against one major Northern California wildfire, while another continued to threaten homes and campgrounds and to close busy Interstate 5 during the 4th of July weekend. Now, the salt and lava fires are both burning in rugged rural terrain in the Shasta Trinity National Forest in the upper reaches of Northern California. There are among 16 active wildfires burning in the state during an early start to the fire season. Most of California saw far less rainfall than usual over the winter, causing vegetation to dry out faster than usual and increasing fire danger. Most of the state is in extreme or exceptional drought conditions, according to the National Drought Monitor. As of Saturday afternoon, the blaze had destroyed 27 homes and 14 other structures, the U.S. Forest Service estimated, and 450 people remained evacuated. It had burned 7,467 acres and was 5% contained by Saturday evening. And that's it for the news. Do stay tuned.
Welcome back.
Indeed.
It's time for the health segment.
Yes, indeed. Now, on health, we will be talking about diabetic foot care. Now, why it is important and how to do it right. We have with us Dr. Damien Avar, a.k.a. the Sabi Doctor himself. Tell us a bit about him, Titi.
Now, if you are someone who's interested in finding out more or being educated about your health online, his posts will likely have come up once or twice, especially on Instagram. So, yeah, he's a practicing medical doctor with expertise in sexual health. And as an award-winning health educator, Dr. Damien leverages on social media to promote health literacy and positive health behavioral change.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Titi.
Always good to see a brother with a very, very good, healthy afro.
What is it with this Afro Club thing?
Don't worry. Some other day we'll talk about that.
No time, no time. So diabetic foot. You specifically said diabetic foot in this instance. Yeah. For people at home that don't understand what it means, please break it down.
Okay, so when we say diabetic foot, we talk about diabetic foot care. What we're trying to emphasize is the fact that people who are diabetic, are prone to suffering injuries, feet injuries, which can worsen and become so bad that they may have their feet or foot amputated, as the case may be. So when we talk about diabetic foot, that is what we're trying essentially to avoid, the amputation or eventual amputation of the foot.
Well, why are the feet so susceptible to these injuries that never heal or take time to heal?
Now, the thing here is there is something called neuropathy, diabetic neuropathy. Essentially, it means nerve damage. It is a gradual, progressive nerve damage that tend to happen in people with diabetics, especially in people with diabetes, especially when it is poorly controlled. Yeah. Now, of course, the nerve damage can happen in any part of the body, but what we have seen over time is that the nerve damage tends to affect typically the foot a lot more than all the other parts of the body. So what happens here is that depending on the extent of the nerve damage, one will notice over time that the perception of pain in the feet, is diminished or lost. The implication of that is that if that person has an injury on the foot, the person may not even know that there is an injury. Of course, the pain sensation is not there, so the person does not know that there is an injury. And also, because they tend to also have problems with blood circulation, particularly to the feet. You know, foot injuries can be excruciatingly difficult to manage.
Okay.
A tiny cut or foot injury can progress very rapidly to become, you know, a serious foot ulcer that may eventually warrant an amputation of that, you know, limb to save the person's life.
Goodness me. Now, we have taken it all the way to the end now, because you're saying that this is something so dangerous that a person could lose a limb.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this issue of diabetes, people have heard about diabetes before, but what is the major cause of diabetes?
Okay, so, I mean, depending on what you actually, the type you are looking at, all right? You know, you have the type 1, you have type 2, you also have gestational diabetes. If you're looking at type 1, there are immune problems associated with it. Cells in the liver that produce insulin get affected, all right? That can affect insulin production, which consequently leads to diabetes. Then you have type 2 diabetes, which is also known as, which is a result of a partial reduction in insulin sensitivity or, volume. So what you see in type 2 is there is some insulin, okay, which helps with mobilization of glucose or sugar into cells. But the insulin is not enough. Or you could have a case where the cells that are meant to mobilize glucose into them are not so sensitive to insulin. We call it insulin resistance. So, I mean, there are risk factors. You can't specifically say this is what actually causes it, but there are risk factors. For example, family history of diabetes is a strong risk factor. So if a parent or a sibling, a close sibling has diabetes, okay, there is a risk that, a high risk that, another sibling will develop it, okay? There is also the issue of obesity, is also one of it. Obesity, yes. Then there are other medical problems.
Okay. So going back to the foot problem now,
yes.
How can people with diabetes make sure that they don't go down this lane where they have an injury that cannot be cured? And does it mean that all injuries in that state cannot be cured?
Okay. No, it doesn't mean that all injuries will not be able to be cured. All right. It's just that they have a high risk of progressing to a stage where.
So how can they guard against these kinds of injuries?
Okay, so there are do's and don'ts when it comes to diabetic foot care. The way we say is, in addition to maintaining a very healthy blood glucose level, that's very, very important, crucially important. In addition to maintaining a healthy blood glucose level, number one, you want to encourage them to examine their feet daily. So daily examination of the feet, okay? And what are you looking for? You're looking for blisters, you're looking for sores, you're looking for redness, swellings, anything that can point to, an injury.
It goes without saying that you can't afford to wear tight shoes or shoes that will cause damage to your feet.
Exactly, I'm getting to that. So one of the problems is they also tend to have issues with their vision, so some degree of visual impairment. So for those kind of people, they may actually need someone else to help them with the feet examination. Wow. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, daily washing of the feet. Extremely important. And how do you do that? You wash with mild soap and lukewarm water. I should emphasize that before you wash, you use your elbow, to test the water, or have someone else test the water for you to make sure that the water is not hot before you use, because you can actually cook your feet without realizing it. Number three, okay, very, very important. Number three, very, very important. You want to moisturize.
Okay.
Okay, you want to moisturize the feet, with petroleum jelly. Okay. However, when you are moisturizing, make sure that you don't moisturize in between the toes, because it can actually trap moisture and make that place wet and conducive for, fungal infections to establish in those places and complicate, Then there is also, the emphasis on shoes. extremely important. Okay? You want to wear shoes that are spacious and fit very well. So you are going for shoes with soft soles and interiors, example, canvas, suede, and the likes. Okay? In addition, before you wear your shoe, we advise that you turn them over so that if there are, particles, stones, any other object in the shoes, they fall out before you put in your leg. Okay? I mean, there are quite a number of them, if I may go on.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so that's that on shoes. Then we also advise that they wiggle their toes and move around their feet frequently to allow adequate blood flow. Also, we advise that they wear well-padded socks, preferably cotton-based, socks, when they are going to bed or in cold weathers to provide warmth to their feet. We also advise that when they want to buy shoes, they go for it in the evenings.
Oh, wow.
And the reason is because, as you go through the day, when you get to the evening time, there is some degree of swelling of the feet, puffiness of the feet.
I
so
get it.
you want to get a size that can accommodate that swelling.
Okay.
All right? So that you don't buy a shoe that, in the morning it fits perfectly well, but by the time you get to the evening, it's already tight. Then finally, I should really emphasize this because this is an area where patients often, have problems with. When you notice a cut, you notice an injury, you notice anything wrong with your foot or your feet, as soon as possible, contact your doctor. Don't wait until the next day. It can happen so rapidly. In the space of 12 hours, a foot that you saw earlier in the day could turn black and fall off.
Oh, wow.
So as quickly as possible, contact your doctor. Those are the do's. We also have the don'ts. Number one, do not cut your finger or your toenails by yourself.
Oh, wow.
Why is that important? Like I mentioned earlier, they tend to have problems with their vision.
You might
So
just nick
they
yourself.
may not really be able to appreciate the extent to which to cut and can, inflict injuries on themselves. And they may not even know because they might probably not even feel the pain or not see the blood.
Can we have one more don't before we go?
Yeah.
Okay, one more don't. Which one should I really emphasize now? Okay, don't walk around the room. Don't walk around barefoot, even in your room. Okay. So you must make sure, we advise them to get Crocs.
Okay.
So you get Crocs and wear even in your house to prevent, injuries.
Damon, it's very interesting. I mean, you have just schooled, even I mean,
Honestly, over-schooled us today on this issue of diabetic foot, and hopefully someone at home has learned
I'm
something.
very sure. Even if you don't have diabetes, I think these are points that you actually have to take note for.
Yeah, sure.
Very interesting. Thank you very much for joining us.
All
again.
right.
Looking forward to you coming over and doing some justice to some health issues here. Now, hey, let's find out what all this smell is in the kitchen. I think we're going to have the good doctor there.
Please. Savvy doctors going to the kitchen with us today.
All right.
All right, then. Please.
Come and join us. Welcome to the kitchen. Please sit.
Oh, all right.
Thank you.
Wow. Look at that.
Okay, so today's breakfast has been by Chef Nelly.
Yeah.
Chef Nelly prepared this delicious meal. Tell us what it is and how you came about it.
Okay. This is gum grill beef. Gum grill beef. The reason why I call it gum grill is because it's attached together with chicken.
Yeah.
There's
chicken
beef,
breast.
there's chicken, there's mushroom,
Mushroom, yes.
and some herbs as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
we have
Dig in,
we have
please.
chicken. We have chicken. We have beef there. We have mushroom.
Sure.
Then we have parsley, onion. So those are the items.
Yeah.
So it's quite soft.
And then we did the steamed
with
vegetables.
steamed
there.
vegetables.
Yeah.
Then and the dal potato.
The dal potato is a mixture of beans and potato, but it's amazing, I'm sure.
Wow. Honestly.
What do you think?
Yummy.
Oh, wow. Expectedly. Okay, so thank you so much, Chef Nelly.
Thank you.
Thank you to everyone who has been a part of the show today. Mike, hi, Titi.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mazino, hi.
Hey. Don't worry, I'll be there shortly. To
I know. I'm sure you're just about to stand. That's why I said Mazino hi, so you sit back. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Tomorrow is Wonder Woman Wednesday.
Indeed it is.
Can't wait for tomorrow's show, 7 a.m. live. People right here. And of course, a big happy birthday shout out to the one and only Morayo Afolabi Brown.
Yeah, incidentally, it's also Victor Tia's birthday.
Oh, wow.
FM. Yes, happy birthday to you, Victor.
Happy birthday. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.